Hello everyone again. This is a continuation of my Staffordshire Terrier that I am doing in colored pencil. And I'll just kind of bring you up to really what I've been doing since I've last recorded. I went in with actually indigo blue. It is number 157, and on where his darkest areas of the fur are, I went in over that, and actually in kind of a glazing technique really, but yet I did press down a little bit on the pencil because I do want to press that color in where it's the darkest. So anyway, I went over the darker areas and I felt as though I had my highlights a little too showy, because on his picture he's got highlights, but I feel like I need to kind of fill those in because it's not quite as white or as light as that. And what I did to kind of keep it still somewhat light, but just with a little bit of color, I took Cold Gray 2, number 231, and your pencil doesn't have to be sharp for this. And I just kind of went in just really ever so lightly and kind of filled just like short little strokes. I've already got my pink in there, but just short little strokes to kind of fill in a little bit of that. And now that I'm actually looking at the picture, there's no white in there, so I really need to fill that in. That's just it kind of comes up there with a little bit of white, but on up here there's no white, so I need to fill that in. I try my best when I'm doing a dog portrait for someone to really have the colors and the formation of just different things on the animal to look as realistic as possible. I'll go back to my Cold Gray 2. Gonna kind of just fill that in a little bit. I want to leave a little bit of the white stroke showing. This is a little tricky on the other side of his nose because even though there's white, I don't want to leave it too whitish. And in here, I've added a little bit more. Actually, the more color you can kind of incorporate into your animal within reason, it will really show off. It will really stand out and show off. It's just like using this deep red, dark red 225 in his ears in here. It's a very, dark color, but it really actually kind of just really shows that off. And by using my pink that I kind of went over on where the light catches are, it kind of brings that out. It's not that I don't want to leave any of the paper white, but I definitely want it filled in where it should be filled in. And I'm putting pink around here because it may be the color of the way the print came out, but as you can see, there is kind of some red pinks in here. So it's okay to go ahead and kind of glaze over that. And then, okay, the first cotton bud I was using, as you can see, when it gets really bad like that, throw it away. Grab another one and just kind of blend those colors in. When you blend them in, it makes such a difference. And don't get so close to the edge of the paper that you go outside of it. Otherwise, you'll be grabbing the eraser to try to get those cleaned up. I made his nose a little bit darker in some areas. I need a little bit more black, excuse me, over this eye to make it look like, there's some highlight in there, but to make it look like it's connected there. It's kind of got a lot of pink just sticking out all on its own there. And this is quite a bit darker in here too, which I'll go over that a little bit more. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is also too, I've mentioned this in my other videos, but it doesn't hurt to re-say it. I'm left-handed, so I want to do as much of the artwork on the right side as I can and bring it over to the left. Otherwise, I'm going to be laying my hand and maybe smear it. So I'm going to start over here with his body. And there again, in this picture, it's a little bit hard to tell which way his fur is going, but right here, you can kind of tell. So I very lightly pencil that in, and then I'm going to start filling in the rest of this, and then I will use my cotton bud to blend that. And then I will take my pink pencil, and with that one, it will probably be this really pink Madder Lake 129. And I will come in, and it's just going to be really glazing. I'm going to sharpen a little bit more, but I'm going to lay it on its side, and I'm going to glaze in where I see those richest pinks. And of course, going in the direction of the fur. And then I won't use a real dark pencil for this at first, but where his fur, he's got some little dark fur in there. Actually, I might use a little bit darker. I'm going to use the dark sepia to put in, with short little strokes, put in where those lines are on his chest there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of follow the portrait of him. As we come over here, there's quite a bit more. And I think this is a really good color for this because it's not black, as dark as his body and his head are. So this dark sepia is actually a really good color for this. And then down here where all of his spots are, you can really just vaguely make those out. But we need to put those in. So just glazing, pencil on its side with a very light touch. Just kind of start to put those little spots in. Of course, you want to make them as random as you can, but try to get them as close to where they are on his body too. Anyway, go ahead and catch up with me. Start in on his side over here. Fill in his dark spots. If you don't have dark sepia, maybe a cold gray 3 if you have that, or just a very light gray pencil. That would work also. But go ahead and put those details in now. And then once we get those in and we push the color into the paper with the cotton bud, and I'm going to use a clean tip on that when I do that. See how that just pushes that in? I'll get all those done. I'll push that into the paper, and then we'll come back and we'll continue on. Thanks for watching.